All right, welcome to the live stream. It is October 9th at about 8:50 Pacific Standard Time. The government is still shut down, so there may not be a lot of movement today. And I did not see any major news events. There's like a couple people from the Fed talking, really nothing too crazy. Uh, okay, so we're going to go through some of these charts to see if we can find any trades. Who knows if we can or not. So we're on the daily. You can see still a pretty big uptrend. We're going to go down, drop some time frames. So we probably missed this guy into this area. But we'll see if we can find, kind of similar look there. Maybe a 30-minute gives us another picture. That was this area in here that was hit. Kind of sold off a little in the morning. Now it looks like we're just kicking around. I'm going to keep dropping time frames, trying to find something in here that could work out for us. Let me edit this. What is that? Whatever. That works. Okay. So not a lot for us to trade in here until we break a high or break a low. I'm looking for a retrace. So we'll keep that kind of in the back of our minds. I'm going to put it up on another chart so we keep an eye on it just in case it does do that. Let me see. 10. Okay, now it's sitting over there. So now we'll go check out the MNQ and see if it's doing something real similar. Looks pretty similar. All right. We'll just keep an eye on both of them. I'm hoping we can break a little high and run up a little bit and recover from a little bit of this. But who knows? Today might just be a down day. It happens. No big deal. Crude oil. We need some context from crude oil. Where are we at in this whole thing? Down to sideways still. It's been that way for a while. 60-minute chart. We're kind of range bound, it looks like, in here. Could definitely break below some lows. It is getting into an area of demand, but I don't love the way it looks on that picture. I don't really like the way it looks on that picture either. What is this back here? Don't really like any of that. What about a 5? This is really messing it up for me. I want to take a trade out of here, but this big candle going down, grabbing orders down here is what gives me little to no confidence that this area is going to hold together. So we might have to just check back on that or find an area that is a little bit lower. Like, is that where it's at right now? No, it's a little bit below that. Let me see here. Yeah. Let's draw a line. A horizontal line. That's what I want to look for. See, this wicked through that area, so that's actually probably not valid anymore because the low of that was 61.78. Back over here, 61.78. Yeah, it came down all the way into this. So this might actually be the area we're looking for here. Let me see if I can draw a rectangle. That might make it easier. That's the low of it. It's kind of where I want to be. And that was 65, 75, 61.75. Nope. Okay, so that might be the area that I'm looking for, is right there. We could even potentially move it up to the top of that wick right there. Get it a little bit more in line. You could probably go to the highest one up here, but I think that touched it. Yeah, it did. So that might be an area of interest right there. I'll put an order on it. And we'll do 8 contracts because it's 10 points wide, but you're going to give yourself not 10 points, 10 ticks wide. And you're going to give yourself like 2 ticks for your stop because you need a little bit of wiggle room, a little bit of breathing room. But we're going to see here if this will 78. Is that what it is? Yeah, it's 78. Okay. Buy limit
Order
there.
submitted.
All right. The ES is still not doing anything, so we'll leave this somewhere we can see it, or we'll come back to it here in a second. We'll see. Because once it fills, the stop and everything are never, depending on what you're trading, right? If you say, "Oh, I want my stop 8 ticks away," well, 8 ticks on this is okay, but 8 ticks on like the ES is like 2 points. It's like nothing. So you have to adjust depending on what you're trading. So I think my stop on this is 8 ticks. I'm almost completely sure. I don't know how to edit that now. Custom? No? I don't know. We'll find out when it hits. Who knows? Let's go to natural gas. NG. Only futures. All right. Was this where I was trading this yesterday and it bounced up? Of course it did. I'm just kidding. I don't know if that is where it is. It looks like it, but I could be very wrong. Wait, no. This was not yesterday's. Yesterday's was way back there. Okay, daily chart. Where are you at? All right, so we do have a little area right there that it is kind of sitting in. I'm going to put a little rectangle around it so I can see on a lower time frame what that thing is supposed to kind of look like. It's hard to tell if you got it actually on the thing. A little bit lower. What is that? 45? That's like the whole area. But if we go to a small time frame, like a 60, it's going to get a little bit more clarity. And it is a friggin' gap. No, it just doesn't have enough data. 10 days. Oh, that was just a touch. Okay. So it's this thing in here, which actually I would say it's probably like that right there. Right there. Okay, so it's kind of sitting in there. But the problem is this is actually a decently expensive contract to try to trade. So we might be able to use a micro, it's just the micros don't have a ton of volume. So you got to kind of be careful with that. We can try it and see. Oops. You have to click on the thing. MNG. There you go. How ridiculous. What was I on? Daily. That's how I did it. Okay. I have to do the same thing because obviously the micros and the full-size contracts are different things. And so we have to draw them on both, which is really unfortunate, but okay, same thing. Data series, 10 days. And then we're going to adjust. Oops. It's right here, though. I remember. That. Oop. Nope. Like right there. God, that candle came really far through it. See, the micro looks different. than the full-size contract. And the full-size contract, I'm pretty sure, we're going to go back to it just to verify that I'm not crazy, which I might be. Yeah, the micro had a big wick in here, and the full-size contract does not have that. So I'm kind of trusting the full-size contract more than I'm trusting that micro in the sense of like looking for orders. But so from 78 or so down to 43, there's 25, 30, 35. I don't know. What is that? 70, 78 to 43. No, it's 25. Yeah. Maybe. Nope. Now you got me questioning myself. Let me see here. 8 minus 43. 35. Yeah. Okay. 35. But on a micro contract, that's like $35 per contract. And so if you wanted to risk $100, maybe you could probably do 4 contracts and risk like 140-ish. Yeah, we'll go with that and see how it goes.
Order submitted.
Because of my crude oil one, I have too much stuff out there. Crud. Well, let me see. Maybe I will. I only have 4 of them. Crude oil is farther away from the zone than this
Order
is.
canceled.
And so I'm going to put this one in.
Order submitted.
What are you talking about? What other orders do I have out there? I don't have any other orders. Why are you canceling me?
Order submitted.
This is weird. I have nothing. Can I do 2 targets?
Order submitted.
Okay. Maybe it doesn't like this one. I'm not sure because this doesn't make a ton of sense to me. Let me go see if I can place something over here. Well, this isn't an actual trade, but I just want to see if I can do this.
Order submitted.
Yeah. Okay. I'm thinking the
Order
micro
canceled.
is the problem because these look fine. I don't know what the heck the problem was with the other one. There is 2 like zones or areas sitting on top of each other right here with an area that clearly before was some sort of buying pressure. So it's like this was support and now it's resistance. Might not be a bad little trade to take, but as I've said, if you've watched any of the other videos, I am biased against shorts on major indexes. Because the majority of the time they just go up. So I feel like as an odds enhancer, the odds are actually more against you going short because of you're not going to catch typically a downtrend for a long period of time unless there's like something catastrophic going on or some really bad news. But right now with the government being shut down, there's not a ton of news. I mean, they've been delaying like the economic reports and all kinds of stuff. So it doesn't, it's still something that I am cautious of doing. But I'm thinking actually this might not be a bad trade to hop in on. I might go short on it. Yeah. think I'm going to go short on it. Yep.
Order submitted.
How are
Order
you?
failed.
Okay. This one obviously has to go up here above those zones. This one we're going to probably leave somewhere where it is. And this one we're going to hope that we can get a drop down. We do need to kind of figure out on this time frame where the next real cluster of buying is, which, ooh, it's kind of in this area. This is like the last like big turn. I don't like that. We'll go up here. I don't think we're going to get that far today because this thing probably isn't going to move that much. It might bounce down a little bit and kind of hang out, but other than that, not all that confident there. I really hope the government opens back up and trading gets better because right now I'm not having any fun. I'm going to put this up on the other screen so I can keep an eye on it, and I'm going to go look at some other stuff. And I did it again. Got to click on it. There it is. All right. So we are getting a little drop out of there. That's kind of nice. Hopefully we can get a little bit more of a drop, take some profit off of it, and feel more comfortable about our decisions. God, I hate shorting the ES. I really do. Drives me nuts. It's like shorting the NASDAQ.
Target filled.
Nerve-wracking thing. We got $30 so far. That's good. We'll let the other ones kind of play around here. If we make some sort of formation headed down, we'll move our stop. But for now, we're probably going to just end up leaving it where it is. Okay. I got an eye on it on the other screen, so I'll go back and see what crude oil is doing. I did it again. I hit enter way too fast. Crude is ticking back up. It is not coming down to this little area right here that I drew. That's okay. What about natural gas? I think we're gonna have to go to the full size contract because the micro for some reason does not work. I don't know. It's kind of weird. These screens are really bright. God. Okay, let's go see what is over here. Why, yeah. What are you doing? Not much. Chilling. Okay. What about a Russell? Well, RTY, R2K, M2K, blah, whatever. Ooh, you are recovering a little bit more than the other ones. Not an amazing amount by any means, but more than the other ones. Let me see if there's something I can go look at real quick. See if there's any other news that I missed. No. Nothing that I can see there. Okay, well, not helpful. Let's go back into here. Let's look at some metals. Little copper. On a 5-minute? No. On a daily. I don't know what this was, but I would say we're kind of in an uptrend. We have some higher highs and some higher lows. No, nothing in there. 30-minute, no. It hit this little thing right here, right? Support, resistance, turned around, support. Or sellers, buyer stepped in, whoever it was. Maybe 15 will give me something. Not a whole ton of anything in there. It's actually coming up into a little supply zone that it formed, but for $175 a risk, that's a little spicy for going against the overall trend. I might leave that one alone. What about like platinum? Again, back to daily. Ooh, big uptrend. Okay. 60-minute. Again, it's kind of dipped into this area already. I might have missed both of these little areas in here. God, $415 for that area. That's a good chunk. And I don't really care for this looking setup. Even this software isn't picking it up. So, maybe that thing, but it's been touched once, had a reaction, but it didn't break a previous high. So, maybe not the best. We'll go, what other Bitcoin? Again, daily, I'm pretty sure Bitcoin's still, it's still up in this. This barely broke the high point, but it did. So there may be something in here. I looked the other day, but it was on this candle, so it was kind of far away from it. But now it's come back down a little bit. Maybe there is a trade in there. I need some more data. We'll do 15 days. See if that gives us something. Ooh, there's a lot of buying in here, apparently. Weird. Especially like that one. Oh, interesting. It's a lot of areas stacked on top of each other. What if we go to a 30-minute? Does that make it any clearer? I'm going to say no. But it does define this little area more. We've just kind of bounced out of that. So maybe that's not. You might have missed that just barely. I mean, last time when it went in there, it did pretty good. It continued its climb up. It just didn't break a high. Same thing. It came back down to this kind of area in here and didn't break a high. So it might be slowly eating through the amount of buyers that are in that area, which is not fantastic. Yeah. No, I'm probably not taking this one. That's probably the worst part about trading anything, right? Like you have trades like this guy that's kind of tinking around down here. But it takes sometimes quite a long time to find decent trades. You're not going to just open up the market and be like, oh my God, look at all these, like there's like 15 million trades I can go take. It takes a little bit of effort. It takes some time sitting here. And I think that that's probably the hardest part for most people including myself. I'm out of the corner of my eye, I'm looking at the ES and it's like moving around, but just barely. And it just, it's not giving me the confidence that I want it to give. Typically, when you hop into a trade, you want direction and you want it like, hey, I'm when it hits this area, it's going to hit a ton of unfilled selling orders, buying orders, whatever it is, and I want it to take off. When it doesn't do that, I think you're just kind of hoping at that point, and hoping is not a way to trade anything. So this might be the end of this trade for me. Or, I mean, I can move my stop and just put it in here. I don't care that much, I guess, and let it just run throughout the day. I just don't want to have to sit here and think about it for the next 30 minutes while it gives me $20 more. I don't care about that. So yeah, I'm going to put it right below basically where I entered, 2 ticks below. And that's it. I think that's all I'm going to do. Maybe a lower time frame will give me some sort of pattern or shape that I can see. This is a problem. When you load 15 days of data, you got 15 days of data and you're on a minute chart. It really it loads a lot of stuff. It's going to come stop me out right now. Look at that. I'll go 1 tick above that little high point there. But basically, I'm going to be out of this here in a second probably. Because again, it's not like these big red candles right here, right? They came into an area where there was obviously sellers. And yeah, they chilled for a little bit, but then they started to really move, right? Started to really move. When you're doing this in here and you're not really getting anywhere, you're just kind of hanging out. Now, the reason I put it above this candle is because if it does do this little stair step down, that's fine. But it's got to actually do that, and it can't just like do this sideways for the next hour and some, because then it's just, again, you're just hoping that it goes in your direction. You don't actually have the market behind you in any way. You kind of need other people to be doing the same thing you're doing. Otherwise, you're wrong. All right. I'm going to probably end this. Thanks for anybody that watches this, and I'll be back tomorrow.